Brian Christofek once said, "Being a great place to work is the difference between being a good company and a great company." The success of your business is largely dependent on your company culture, the atmosphere of your workplace, the traditions, the routines, the values. All have an undeniable effect on the performance of your teams, the morale of your workers, and even your bottom line. So what can you do to foster a positive company culture? How do you ensure that when your people show up in the morning, they're both happy and proud to be there? Well, in this course, we're going to show you how to do exactly that.
94% of executives and 88% of employees believe that a well-defined workplace culture is important to the success of a company. 46% of job seekers believe that company culture is an important consideration when deciding to apply to a company, and 15% of job seekers turn down a job offer because of a disappointing company culture. Based on these statistics, it is clear that a positive company culture is something that your company should strive for. Our course is going to consist of a series of critical discussion points. These are designed to cover this broad topic as thoroughly as possible, to encourage growth in these vital areas, and to facilitate a real and fruitful discussion within your organization about how you can each improve on this essential characteristic both at work and in your personal lives in general. Some of these will be pretty lengthy, and some will be relatively straightforward and brief. At the very end of this roadmap comes the most important final step. Discussion time. Do not skip this. This is the most important part of this training. When you've finished this course, you need to spend at least an hour or so going over the questions we supply at the end as a group. Whoever's the head honcho in the group should designate a facilitator whose responsibility it is that each question is covered and that everyone, time permitting, is able to have their say. Make sure all contributions are valued, all suggestions considered, and all opinions respected. So, let's move on to the first discussion point. Assess your current culture. Building a company culture from scratch is easy when you're just starting out. After all, culture starts with the very person you hire. Their set of beliefs and values will help dictate the kind of culture that will develop. However, if you already have an established organization or company, you'll need to assess and redefine your company culture if you want to see some improvements. Here are some simple steps to understand, change, and improve your existing company culture. Evaluate your onboarding process. If your hiring and training methods are antiquated, consider transitioning into more personalized and participatory processes. Determine whether the leadership is fluid and agile. Change won't happen if the company leaders are static and resistant to change. Look at the company's recognition and rewards program. Give employees several options on how they want to be recognized and rewarded. Observe the interactions and dynamics between teams. The goal is to establish strong connections that will pave the way for effective collaboration. Define your values. Make sure that you know and identify the values that underpin your business operations. Otherwise, it won't be easy for you to determine what you want your company culture to look like. Some examples of questions that you should ask yourself when defining your company values are the following. Why does your company exist? What does your company stand for? What is your mission or vision? Where do you see yourself and your company a few years down the road? How can the employees demonstrate these company values? Why do the company values matter, and how can they contribute to individual and team success? Institutionalize the culture. After you've identified the kind of culture that you want to have in your company, the next step is to create and implement new systems and standard operating procedures. These policies and processes should reinforce the existence of the new culture. Furthermore, they must be scalable and easily accommodate the growth of your company. Here are some ways to encourage the permanence of a new company culture. During the hiring process, give multiple employees the chance to assess whether or not a potential hire is a good fit. During performance conversations, make sure that the company values are an important consideration. Have your values placed front and center on the company website to help attract the kind of employees who would be a great fit with your company culture. Consider adding the company values to employee email signatures. This creates a shared language and signals to the rest of the world that the employees embody these values. Build trust. The foundation of every good company culture is employee trust. It is unfortunate that a lot of larger corporations experience an increasing sense of alienation and distrust between their employees and leaders. Communication issues are often the culprit, as managers in these bigger companies don't get the chance to know all the employees and develop a closer, more personal relationship. Good communication is always the key for building trust. Communication lines can be improved by making time for one-on-one meetings, providing employees with autonomy and accountability, and making them feel valued and appreciated. Get employees involved. It is true that culture change should come from and be modeled from the top. Leaders should pioneer changes in company values and goals in order to ensure actual transformations. However, the role of the average employee shouldn't be diminished. Diverse perspectives should have a voice in creating the ideal company culture. Encourage employees to share their recommendations, comments, and ideas. Share the responsibility, especially when it comes to onboarding new personalities that will eventually have a significant impact on existing practices and values. De-emphasize organizational hierarchy. Organizational hierarchies can be limiting and repressive, particularly when there is a lack of transparency or accountability in the leadership. Hierarchies can make anyone feel intimidated. They also restrict the free flow of ideas and creativity, adversely impacting organization development. Instead of focusing on structural differences, create positive workspaces without the inherent division that hierarchies bring. Each employee should feel heard, recognized, and valued. Office politics should be discouraged, and gossip, backbiting, or politicking should be prohibited. Reduce bureaucracy and micromanagement. In many smaller businesses, the need for organizational hierarchies can actually be eliminated. A flat and open organizational model can work when there are too few employees to require the need for middle managers. This kind of structure also eliminates bureaucracy, since employees now have a direct access to their managers or business owners. Furthermore, never micromanage your team members. Make all of them feel like they belong, and that they are capable of handling and finishing their own work. When employees own their work, they feel valued and have a better sense of belonging. Optimize the hiring process. Company culture is directly influenced by hiring decisions. Taking your time to hire and promote the right people will pay off and make a difference in how your company will ultimately grow. Getting the hiring process wrong is palpable and will eventually manifest in problems for the company. Here are some tips to keep in mind during the hiring process. Cover as much ground as possible by assigning your team different areas of the interview. When you have multiple interviewers covering different subjects, you'll get deeper conversations and a more comprehensive picture of each candidate. Attitude should be prioritized over skills and experience. Ask them if they plan on growing with you, even if the position or task you have hired them for is gone. They should be genuinely excited, not just with their role, but also about being a part of the company. A great culture fit doesn't mean someone who looks, thinks, or acts like you or the rest of your team. Instead, find someone who brings something new and exciting to the table, but will also align well with your company's values and vision. Build a strong employer brand. An employer brand refers to what employees think, feel, and share about the company they work for. Essentially, it is a company's reputation as an employer. Unfortunately, not a lot of companies pay attention to their employer brand, let alone invest in building and strengthening it. Remember that a strong employer brand helps attract and retain high-quality workers. This is what will differentiate you from your competitors. Although there is no one-size-fits-all solution for improving your employer brand, you should invest in creating a healthy work culture that creates happy and engaged employees. Invest in your employees. One of the best ways to create a positive company culture is an engaged work environment where employees clearly see that the management cares about them and their future. Invest in your workforce and allow them to pursue their passions, both inside and outside the office. Skill building, individual development, and professional training will help your employees meet their personal and career goals. Treat all your employees equally and make sure that each one has the chance to be promoted, be successful, and reach what they want for their careers. When you prioritize their future, you also validate their commitment to the organization and instill a strong sense of community. Be flexible. Whenever possible, offer a flexible working environment. As long as hard work is also built into your company culture, giving more freedom and flexibility can demonstrate that you trust your employees. In turn, employees who benefit from these policies tend to be more loyal and committed to their jobs. Here are some initiatives to get you started. Flexible working hours. Lenient dress codes. BYOD, or bring your own device practice. Allowing employees to access social media platforms and messaging applications even during working hours. Freedom to work off-site or from home whenever your employees need to get away from the distractions of the office or get caught up on a project without getting frequently interrupted. Keep your employees safe. One of the hallmarks of a positive work culture is having the opportunity to speak openly about certain issues in and outside of the office. Ensuring that your employees know their rights are protected at work is just as essential as making sure they feel welcome. The following are examples of policies that you can initiate to make your employees feel safe. HR representatives should have enough time in their schedules to accommodate personal conversations when necessary. Implement an anonymous sexual harassment hotline, which will serve as a secure and private way to report related incidents in the office. Don't sweep issues under the rug or shy away from tough conversations. A safe workplace isn't about avoiding conflict. Instead, it requires facing problems head-on before they become bigger issues. Never make assumptions and ask open-ended questions. This approach shows that you are open to whatever your employees have to say. Adapt to different motivations. Employees have motivations that vary depending on their age, expectations, experience, and background. For example, a lot of senior employees tend to prefer having the flexibility and freedom to choose how they get their work done. On the other hand, many younger employees like having short breaks during the workday to relax, play games, watch sports, and just be able to get away for a few minutes from the daily grind. Figure out what motivates your employees and build it into your company culture. You want your employees to work hard and efficiently, and this is only possible within a company culture that is hospitable to their interests and motivations. Evolve and change. Creating a more positive and engaging organizational culture takes time, energy, and dedication. You'll have to invest in significant and sustainable policy changes in order to realize the kind of work culture you desire. Make sure that your key leaders are able to evolve with policy changes that are being implemented. They should understand their role in creating a culture that is aligned with the company's business strategy. They should also have goals and motivations that are congruent with the company's desired outcomes. Be inclusive. No one wants to feel uncomfortable at work because of their age, sexuality, gender, ethnicity, or any other important aspect of their being. Take the necessary steps to improve inclusion and diversity at the office, and don't make these policies into nothing more than lip service. Implement them fully and have the necessary sanctions in place to penalize offenses. Remember that even though there may be laws in place to prevent serious cases of workplace discrimination, a working environment where events requiring legal intervention happen shouldn't exist in the first place. From the onset, make it clear that the organization has a zero-tolerance culture for workplace discrimination. Check accessibility. If you have policies in place that are intended to promote the welfare, happiness, and growth of your employees, make sure that these policies are accessible for everyone. There is no point in having these policies if they'll only benefit a small group of people. While designing these policies, keep in mind that people prefer and favor different things. For example, when creating a recognition and rewards program, remember that some employees may prefer monetary rewards, while others may want more vacation days. It's all about ensuring that everyone feels a sense of belonging and inclusion. Be open and transparent. Toxicity in a business environment can be very damaging. It hinders collaboration, suppresses new ideas, and delays innovation. Create an open and transparent work environment where people won't be scared to express their thoughts and ideas, no matter if they are an intern or a tenured senior employee. Employees are more productive and efficient when they feel like they can trust their leaders. Take the time to speak personally with all the people that directly report to you. Develop a relationship that is based on mutual trust and respect so that your team members can speak freely without fear of backlash. Be visible and accessible. Employees support leaders who are honest, transparent, and authentic. When you make yourself available to everyone, it creates a sense of unity and purpose. Employees are more likely to feel motivated to work hard to achieve company goals when they have leaders who strive to be a great role model for them. Be consistent. There are a lot of new trends in company culture that have become popular with both startups and larger corporations. It can be tempting to adopt these trends into your own organization to get the same benefits or to keep up with what your competitors are doing. However, remember that strategies and policies don't work the same way for every company. Instead of getting distracted by the newest business culture fad, it might be best to stick with what is tried and tested. If you believe that you already have a terrific company culture where your employees thrive and are happy, it's better to let things remain the same. While change is mostly a good thing, disrupting what already works can be detrimental to your organization's cultural balance. Constantly reiterate core values. When you've already defined and institutionalized your company's core values, make sure that you and your team are practicing and living these on a daily basis. For instance, during weekly meetings, you can highlight core value leaders in the company and recognize their efforts and achievements. Furthermore, be the change that you want to see. Own and champion your company culture to remind people of its existence and importance. Hold yourself to the high standards called for by your company's values on a daily basis. Your team members will see your efforts and will be more likely to follow your example. Make people feel valued. Everyone has a natural desire to be appreciated for their contributions and efforts. In fact, the endeavor to demonstrate one's value can shape an employee's beliefs and attitudes at work. To make sure that your employees feel like their work is valued and appreciated, try the following tips. Create a program that recognizes and rewards employee contributions. Don't let the efforts of your team go unnoticed if you want to retain their talent, improve productivity, and sustain creative development. Let your employees know their contributions help the company achieve their overall goals. When employees understand how they affect the success of the company, they take more pride in their work. Ask for their feedback and opinions, use when applicable, and let them know that their contributions are appreciated. Communicate frequently and efficiently. Make sure that they are in the loop when it comes to important changes or updates within the organization. Appreciate and empower. Studies show that while money is an important motivator, True motivation to perform well and produce good outcomes comes from appreciation and autonomy. When employees know that their work is meaningful and when they have a sense of purpose at work, they make useful contributions. For this reason, make sure that you offer the right feedback, support, and resources that will empower your employees to do good work. Don't automatically assume that promotions and salary increases are the only ways you can raise an employee's status. Perception of status also rises when employees are appreciated by their employers. Provide credible praise for daily tasks rather than waiting for end-of-the-year performance evaluations. Increase engagement. Make sure that your employees are in the loop about the latest updates in the company. They should be aware of the organization's future goals, plans for expansions, and financials. Unless you are actively told to keep certain updates a secret, it's better to have an open and transparent workplace to ensure continuous and productive engagement from the employees. A highly engaged workplace, after all, fosters a high-performing workforce. Here are some ideas on how you can increase workplace engagement. Start activities that underscore social responsibility. This can involve volunteering for local animal shelters, building homes, or connecting with disadvantaged or underprivileged communities. Create affinity or popular interest groups such as book clubs, or a group where you can share pet tips and stories. Encourage your team to share more about themselves by creating spaces where they can comfortably talk about their hobbies and interests. Plan regular company outings. These offer a great opportunity for your team to build bonds and new interpersonal connections outside of the office. Don't sacrifice your values for urgent demands. It's important to stay true to your values, even in the face of urgent deadlines or demands. For example, you may keep delaying one-on-one meetings because there's an urgent call or meeting that crops up every day. However, if you want to maintain a positive company culture, make sure that you prioritize the things that are truly important for the company. It's okay to reschedule, but don't let your company values, such as your commitment to employee growth and development, completely get replaced by the need to address urgent situations. Unless you maintain a regular connection with your company values, you might find yourself having to deal with a decaying cultural fiber. Foster creativity and innovation. Make sure that you don't hinder your employees from innovating and creating by providing them with the support and resources they need. Here are some examples of the changes you can make to foster creativity and innovation. Redesign the office to encourage collaboration. Consider getting standing desks to get people's minds sharp and engaged. Have a space where your team can relax and de-stress when they want to get away from the monotony of their desks. Encourage learning. One of the top reasons why employees leave a company is there is no room for growth. Organize skill development courses, training sessions, and coaching throughout the year to ensure that they are growing and improving. Encourage an open office where people can freely exchange ideas. Hold regular meetings where everyone can participate. Set a good example by being receptive to every idea presented to you. Encourage freedom. It's never a good idea to make employees feel that they're not involved in key decisions or that their impact on the company is insignificant. When limited freedom becomes a part of your company culture, your employees will feel that they're only helping someone else achieve their dreams. Make your employees feel that they have a voice and a meaningful impact on the organization and its direction. When people have ownership of their work, the outcomes become more valuable to them. Encourage your employees to become stakeholders so that the company's success is directly tied to their efforts at work. People feel proud when they are a part of something bigger than themselves, particularly when joint effort creates profitable outcomes. Promote camaraderie. Build a team that relies on each other. A positive, close-knit workplace culture boosts productivity, improves efficiency, and increases the company's bottom line. Check out the following ideas on how you can promote camaraderie between your team members. Plan company events so that the team has something to look forward to beyond the confines of the office. A casual gathering outside of the workplace enables people to get to know each other better and create friendships. Schedule a happy hour with your team. Try out an escape room. Organize game day once a month. Remember that you don't have to break the bank to go on fun outings. Don't prevent casual conversations during the day. In fact, encourage them to connect on a deeper level with each other at work. In many cases, informal discussions can lead to creative ideas and exciting outcomes. Promote self-care. Organizations that have thriving cultures prioritize the health and well-being of their employees. These companies understand that when employees are healthy and happy, they bring their whole productive selves to work. Promoting self-care also boosts company morale because people aren't stressed or pressured at work, thus reducing healthcare costs. Try the following tips to cultivate a healthy environment at work. Encourage your employees to go for a short walk outside during the day. Implement a policy for gym membership reimbursements or discounts. Offer flexible work schedules or the choice to work remotely on occasion. Hold fun and friendly challenges to get them away from their desks. Provide them information and resources on how they can reduce stress. Protect the culture. During the onboarding process, a candidate's disposition and attitude are crucial factors to consider. Negative people can bring down the entire workplace, so look for those with friendly and upbeat dispositions. Here are some ways to protect your company culture during expansion and change. Be authentic and live up to your values. The lack of authenticity will be immediately discerned by your applicants, employees, and customers. Make sure they abide by company culture even when tough decisions or adverse changes inevitably occur. Be very public about your company culture. Reiterate it whenever possible, including in the company handbook, website, office walls, and promotional materials. This sends the message that you strongly believe in your values and won't be giving up on them anytime soon. Use your values as a recruitment tool. Applicants should be oriented by HR about the meaning of these values and whether or not these are the same values that they believe in. Carefully consider whether a candidate aligns with the company culture before they progress into the next steps in the hiring process. Appoint mentors. One effective way to bring culture into life is through mentorship. Match your more experienced employees with your new recruits. The former already have a deep understanding of the company culture and can play a considerable role in coaching the latter. Mentors can help new recruits not just by teaching them what they need to know about the organization, but by serving as living, breathing examples of the company's core values. Allow for humor. Work can be very stressful, and laughter can provide a much-needed respite from the metronome of deadlines and revenue targets. Being able to see the lighthearted side of a tough situation is an important skill. While the ultimate goal is to get the problem resolved, humor does offer some invaluable benefits. After all, people rarely succeed unless they enjoy what they're doing. Laughter, according to research, is not at odds with productivity. In fact, people are more productive and better at problem solving when they're in a good mood. If you can find the bright side in difficult situations, you can successfully cultivate a playful but creative working environment. Accept and use feedback. The best way to start building a company culture is by asking your employees to share their thoughts and ideas. Remember that feedback isn't something you should fear. Instead of considering it as a sign that you're doing something wrong, think of it as a way for the employees to show that they care about the company. They're providing feedback because they want to make the company better. Make sure that you also offer a way for your team members to provide feedback anonymously. This will help them honestly share the things that they've been too shy or scared to say in person. There are digital surveys and feedback forms you can create for free. Present yourself as a team. Every team has its star employees and underdogs. However, if you want to build a positive company culture, you shouldn't just focus on those individuals who are performing well. Instead, make sure that your employees see themselves as part of a team. One success is the success of the entire team, and if there are any members who are lagging behind, the team should work together to help bring them up to speed. When you present yourself as a team, anyone can ask for help without worrying about whether they'll be criticized or judged. Presenting yourself as a team is also more appealing to potential applicants to the company. It signals to outsiders that the employees and their leaders have a sense of belonging and that they hold each other in high regard. Put things in perspective. Encourage your team members to never lose sight of the bigger picture. They may encounter failures along the way, but they should remember that there are plenty of other things that they should be proud of. Remind them that it's impossible to win at everything. Instead of blaming them for their mistakes or going on an angry tirade, consider those mistakes as a learning opportunity. Fostering optimism creates a positive momentum in the workplace, especially in times of conflict and strife. When leaders and employees demonstrate an optimistic attitude during times of hardship, they'll create a productive mindset and a winning culture. Invest in employee retention programs. The soaring employee turnover rate is a growing area of concern for employers recently. Most resumes today only feature 1 or 2 year stints at multiple companies. Studies show that employees are constantly on the hunt for better career opportunities. High turnover rates are never a good thing for any company because it shows that employees are unhappy, and it can also get very expensive to keep hiring and training new people. Here are some ways to increase employee retention. You should incorporate fair and routine pay raises so that your rates are competitive with other companies in the industry. Make sure that your employees are given opportunities for upward mobility. Many people who leave their jobs do so because of the lack of opportunity for career advancement. Provide job security and stability. Frequent firings or whimsical decisions by the management give workers the sense that they can be out of a job at any moment. Improve office space. Open office spaces do not just help employers save money and space, they also foster collaboration and teamwork. However, they also don't work for all employees. Introverts, for instance, won't thrive in open working spaces where they are forced to give up their privacy. Instead of forcing this on all your employees, give them options. Let your employees create the kind of environment that would make them the most efficient and productive. Open spaces are great, but make sure that you also install several private rooms where employees can work without any distractions or interruptions. Celebrate cultural alignment. Recognize employees or groups whose performance and subsequent success was guided by your company culture. Make sure to do this in a public setting and frame this milestone in such a way that supports the culture and values the organization upholds. Furthermore, post this kind of achievement on your website so that potential employees can learn more about your culture and understand what achievements you value and recognize. Go easy on the dress code. A traditional dress code does offer some benefits. However, if you wish to build a positive company culture, consider opting for a more casual dress code in the workplace. Formal suits definitely create a rigid and uncomfortable environment. Most employees who don't have the right kind of clothes will also be forced to shop and spend money. When employees feel comfortable, they perform better at work. Prioritizing comfort and productivity over image is a great way to engage your team. Flexibility with the dress code also shows them that certain things don't matter as much as their happiness and performance. Use modern technology. Advancements in technology have revolutionized the way that businesses operate. Most companies utilize platforms to improve communication, manage their work, and streamline certain tasks. Integrate these platforms into your company when you are building a positive company culture. Technology can bring teams together and make their jobs a lot easier. When your processes are more efficient, communication, collaboration, and employee experience also significantly improve. Celebrate successes as a team. Teams that celebrate successes are also in a better position to deal with problems and challenges. Don't hog the spotlight all to yourself. If you have shared the responsibilities for a project, make sure that you also share the recognition you receive for successes and accomplishments. When teams know that their efforts are appreciated, no matter how small a task seemingly is, they are also more empowered to do their best and help others to do their best. After all, their teammates' success is also the success of the team and the entire organization. Articulate the need for change. Sometimes, despite everyone's best efforts, your company culture may not actually work. However, you shouldn't just give up and consider the entire thing as a failure. Instead, think of it as an opportunity for growth and improvement. To change your company culture and make it work for you, take note of 4 key practices. Articulate your goals. Identify the problems with your existing culture and define what kind of culture you want instead. Find and develop leaders who align with the target culture. They will be able to help you achieve a new company culture by providing support, helping with strategy, and passionately implementing policy changes. Use organizational conversations to emphasize why change is necessary at this point in time. Regular dialogue about the importance of a positive culture will help everyone realize the need for change. Implement the changes by ensuring that the organization's processes, systems, and structures align with the new culture. And now, it's discussion time, the most important part of this training. Whoever's the head honcho in the group should designate a facilitator whose responsibility it is that each of the questions you see on your screen is covered and that everyone, time permitting, is able to have their say. Make sure all contributions are valued, all suggestions considered, and all opinions respected.